right, thank you. So we'll need a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Jeff got it. All righty, any other items? Nope. Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next, approving the draft minutes of April 15th.
Mr. Chair, I approve the draft minutes. Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff, I was thinking I got the wrong guy. All righty, Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, and we have the sheriff, Troy Wolverson, up.
Good morning. Today I'm here for a really important reason, and the reason is to recognize the actions of Sergeant Jake Asfeld. I could go into my own description, but I think it's easier if I just read the certificate because it explains the situation very well. So, at 12:27 hours on 4/11/2025, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call from Calvary Lutheran Church Preschool in the city of Alexandria, reporting that a 4-year-old child was choking. The 911 call was immediately dispatched to Alexandria Police Department officers and Douglas County Sheriff's deputies, as well as North Ambulance. Douglas County Sergeant Jacob Asfeld responded and arrived first at Calvary School. Upon getting inside the preschool, Sergeant Asfeld was handed the 4-year-old child by the teacher who had the child in her arms. The child was limp, turning blue, and did not appear to be breathing. The seriousness of the call became evident very quickly, and Sergeant Asfeld took the child and immediately began emergency life-saving techniques on the child. Sergeant Asfeld performed abdominal thrusts, known as the Heimlich maneuver, and back blows to the child, attempting to dislodge the obstruction. As more responding officers and deputies arrived on scene, Sergeant Asfeld continued to work on the child, going back and forth between abdominal thrusts and back blows. After several attempts, an object was noticed inside the child's mouth. The object, which turned out to be a large-headed bolt, was swept clear and removed from the child's airway. When the obstruction was removed, the life came back into the child's eyes and he began to react. The child seemed confused, but after a few seconds began crying. The child was transported to Alamere Health Hospital, where he was united with his parents. The child was breathing fine and answering questions at the hospital. Sergeant Asfeld remained calm and collected throughout this extremely stressful incident, and even assured everyone in the room the child was going to be okay. Giving them hope. Sergeant Asfeld's quick response and life-saving techniques saved the child's life, and he deserves to be recognized for his efforts. So we thought this was very important, and not only that our office and the family involved is aware of this, but that the public knows. As a lot of you know, first responders don't always have happy endings, and so the emergency responders, when we can have an ending like this, and I mean the impact that something like this has. A family did not lose their child that day, and it's largely in part to Sergeant Jake Asfeld. I mean, Jake's an experienced deputy. He's been around a long time, And to come into a scene like that, those who are familiar with that know they're chaotic. And Jake came in, stayed calm, took care of business, and saved that little boy's life. So we're very proud of him, and I appreciate the board allowing us to present this here today. So congratulations, Jake. I want a photo bomb.
And I just want to say to the sergeant that had to be a great feeling to save the child's life. That's fantastic.
Man, a few words.
Yeah. All right, Tabitha.
Good morning. That's an incredible honor to follow up with. I'll do my best this morning to recognize certainly Jake Asfeld and also the Senior Expo, which I'll be talking about a little bit. The first agenda item that I have is, well, I have 3 resolutions this morning to accept donations for the Senior Expo, which is coming up on June 26th from 9 to 12:30 at St. Mary's School. Excellent annual event. Hope you all can make it. The first resolution is a request to approve the resolution of a $300 donation from Stanford Health to be used for the sponsorship of this Triad event.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve Resolution 2538.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
I think Jeff beat you. All right. Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right.
The second is a request to approve resolution of another $300 donation, this one from Evansville Care Campus to be used for the event.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion for the Evansville Care Campus donation, Resolution 25-39.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
And the third is the request to approve a resolution of a $300 donation from Monarch Bethany on the Lake. You will notice that this check is written out for $375. That's because they included the $75 registration fee in with that check. But it is a $300 donation.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2540, Triad donation from Bethany on the Lake.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Charlie. Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
motion carries.
And the final item that I have for you this morning is a request to discontinue a memorandum of understanding with Horizon Public Health to perform MnChoice's assessment. So this memorandum came into effect in 2015 as MnChoices were just rolling out. And the 2 agencies came together to develop a partnership with one staff where Douglas County Social Services provided a staff to Horizon Public Health to perform MnChoice's assessments. And now that particular staff, Mary Peterson, who filled that role for the last 10 years, celebrated her retirement last Friday after 40 years of service to the agency, which is a really incredible accomplishment. Anne, administrator at Horizon, and I have worked with our leadership teams to really assess whether or not that partnership was continuing to be effective for both agencies. There were no monetary dollars exchanged for that. It really was our agency providing this staff. And with the development of MnChoices, certainly a decade in, it's a little more established. And also there have been some changes legislatively that that require those assessments to only be completed annually now, which will come into effect July 1, as opposed to having a much shorter timeline of like a 30, 60, 90-day rotation. So the frequency in which assessments will need to be completed is much less. So Ann and I worked collaboratively to draft the discontinuation of this memorandum of understanding, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it.
Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair, I got a question. Is Ann going to bring this up at Horizon Health on Monday?
She is, yep. Yep,
Then we'll hear it.
going
Thank
to
you.
the board then.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Sorry.
All right.
I'm second.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lee, you are up next.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Morning, Board. I have before you a short item here. We are looking at the lease agreement with the Department of Corrections. And it's in existence now, but they wanted to make a change, and that change is to have a conference room that's available for their work. It's been in their contract prior and then was removed, so it was just a matter of putting it back in there with the amendment number 4 before you. So just looking for action from the board to adopt on this amendment 4 for the Department of Corrections to use and have access to the adjoining conference room.
Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve letting the Department of Corrections use the conference room.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Erickson.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we opened some maintenance bids last Wednesday. First one that I have in front of you is for our pavement marking. We had one bidder, and that's the same as the last couple of years, Sir Lions a Lot. They've kind of bought out all of their competition in Minnesota. We had some plan holders out of state, they just didn't submit a bid. So with that, I'll make the recommendation we award our pavement marking contract to Sir Lions a Lot.
And just a question, does this guy, he does it all over the state, or is he pretty much just our area?
All over the state.
Okay. Board's wishes.
I'll make a motion to award the striping bid to Sir Lions-A-Lot. Is that what it's called?
That is what the company is called.
Sir Lions a lot. I'll second it.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Charlie. Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next bid that we opened was for our chloride. What we did different this year is we set up an alternate for doing magnesium chloride or calcium chloride. So what we've kind of found in the past, magnesium chloride, it works. It just doesn't tend to work as well as calcium chloride. It's not as thick a solution, so it doesn't really have the lasting effect. But if we could do it for cheaper, we wanted to give that a shot. We did have, our low bid was from Corbin Excavating to provide magnesium chloride. But when we wrote that contract, we set it in that the county has the right to choose whether we want magnesium or chloride after we open bids, or magnesium or calcium, excuse me, or we could award based on the overall dollar amount. So we did have the low bid for calcium chloride was from Crow River Construction, just under $500 more expensive than the magnesium chloride. Crow River did our work last year. I actually got a call from one of the townships last year that said they did fantastic. We know how they work. We have not worked with Corbin Excavating. My experience is that calcium chloride is going to be a better product anyway. So I would recommend that we go with Crow River Construction and apply the calcium chloride, but it's the board's wishes.
I just have a question, and that is, last year, did we use less than average?
So we go in for an approximate 200,000 gallons. Last year, we came in under that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not a lover of it,
Mr.
but
Chair, I got a question. So what percentage of this is township?
I believe right around 30%.
30% goes to
But it's
township.
Ballpark, yeah.
Okay. But Public Works gets all the billing for it. Douglas County gets the
Correct.
billing, and then the townships pay the county, right?
Correct. We're the middleman for the townships.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve Crow River Construction to apply 38% liquid calcium chloride.
thank you, Tim.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, being we didn't take low bid, you maybe want to put a comment in there about having past history with Crow River, therefore, and through the recommendation of their.
Okay. Well, okay, on this last action item, we did take a $500 larger bid, but under the advice of Public Works, we're going to do that because they have a history of doing a good job and did what we need. So that takes care of that. All right, our next item is a resolution.
Correct. So the Safe Streets and Roads for All, so the SS4A, this is something we tried to do a grant for last fall. We were not selected for that. There's another application going out. Ultimately, what this is it sets up a safety plan, and once we're completed with all that safety plan, we're kind of eligible for more grant funding for going out and implementing that safety plan. So for 20% of the 250,000 is really what we're on the hook for to develop that plan, and we'll be eligible for much more than that in grants in the future. So we're trying to get that grant again.
All right. Board's wishes.
Make a motion to approve resolution supporting Safe Streets for All planning grant,
Thank you, Charlie.
2541.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Shane. Lene, please.
Rapp.
Yes.
Way.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. We have Brad coming up.
We have Brad coming up to discuss this permit application.
Okey-dokey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I had a permit application from Ken Hansen for the field dog trials for the English Cocker Spaniel Championships. It's a nationwide event. They move it around the country, and Ken is a local here to Douglas County, and he's pretty high up on their board, so he gets to host every now and again. And yeah, the letter that was attached, they'll be using the Holiday Inn as their headquarters, and then they want to use Chippewa Park for the water testing of the field dog trials. And they picked 2 days for rain, basically. And Chippewa is nice. Like he said, he can play the wind on either side of the peninsula for the lake. But the reason we brought it to the board is so when they throw the bird out for the dog to retrieve, they fire a blank shell from a shotgun. And we don't allow firearms to be discharged in the park, so that's why it's here for you guys' approval, the board's wishes. I don't see any issues with it firing blanks.
Nope.
We do allow hunting once you access the water in our parks. So if they did walk into the water, they could technically do this, but it's a gray area, so it's, you know what, I asked them to bring it to the board for you guys, so it's, you know, it's clear to the public that we discussed it, and
Yep. I don't see any problem with that at all.
I think it's a great opportunity.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion, we do it.
Thank you, Charlie.
A second.
Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Way.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Rapp.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
Thank you. And then the next item that we have is a drainage request on County Ditch 416, and Mike's on his way.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
So what we have is a landowner request on 416 where there is deltas forming in the channel. They have concerns where it's starting to wash the bank on some of the opposite sides. So what is proposed is to haul in boulders or riprap to armor the sites where it is washing, and then to remove the deltas to straighten the channel back to as it was designed. It's an estimated cost of about $10,000 for the 3 sites. The rock and getting it there is probably the biggest expense on this one. There's not a current loan on that ditch system, and financially, they should be able to pay for that pretty easily.
All right, and this is just south of Millerville?
Yes.
All right, board's wishes.
I'll make a motion to approve drainage request on CD 416.
Thank you, Tim.
I'll second.
Thank you, Shane. Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
yes,
motion carries.
All right. The next item would be to answer any questions or to approve the annual drainage report as written.
Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the 2025 drainage report.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tim. Any other questions on this one? Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
So before you leave, Tim, just one quick question, going back to that chloride. Has anything been ever looked at? I know we talked about it before, but that beet juice in place of?
So we've looked into some
Yep.
of that beet juice. It's the suppliers. We didn't put anything in a bid or anything like that, but we haven't gone any further than trying to find the supplier.
Just for the heck of it, just find out what you can about that and just see what the cost is difference comparing to that. Just so we know.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rush.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're ahead of schedule.
We are.
All right, I will do my best to fix that.
Go ahead and try.
All right, first item I have for you this morning will be licenses. We have 3 landscaper excavator companies. We recommend approval of their license.
I'll make a motion to approve licenses for excavator landscaper.
Thank you, Tim. I'll second. Lene, please.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes,
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right.
Excellent. The next 3 items are from our Planning Advisory Commission meeting last week. The first is a conditional use permit. This would be to allow livestock, chickens, in the Shoreland District there by Lake Mary. Planning Commission reviewed this. They're seeking to not have more than about 25 chickens, no roosters. So Planning Commission recommended approval of that conditional use permit.
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions.
I'll second.
All right, Tim and Shane. And Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
yes,
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
motion carries.
So my next item is a conditional use permit to request to allow a guest cottage. This is over off of County Road 22, property that has frontage on North Union Lake. It meets all of the requirements in our ordinance, and the structure that they're proposing is well below the maximum size standards for a guest house. So Planning Commission reviewed this and recommended approval with the 2 conditions in your report.
I'll make a motion, or you got a question?
I got a question. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to make a motion to approve with conditions.
Thank you, Tim.
I'll second it, but my question is, Dave, why do you have to take out the cooking facilities? I was just curious.
Great question. It has to do with the definition of a guest cottage in our ordinance. The definition says it has sleeping and bathroom facilities, but may not have cooking facilities. I think the reason for that is that the premise in the ordinance is not to have a complete second dwelling on the property. It's there for overflow. It's sleeping quarters, essentially, not something that could be rented as a rental property or now a vacation rental property. So if there's no cooking facilities in there, it's overflow sleeping.
So they can use an outdoor grill if they want anyways.
Yeah, see, I mean, there's lots of ways around it.
So then my next question is, are you going to go out there and make sure they take it out? Or someone?
Someone may go out there, we'll probably contact them. They did indicate that, taking the stove, I mean, we wouldn't prevent them from having a mini fridge.
Right, I
a
get
coffee
that.
pot, I mean, those sorts of things. So
Microwave.
it just gets to be that, again, the premise of it is so that they don't have a complete dwelling that they could rent out separately.
Well, when we viewed it, they said that the range wasn't working anyway. So we don't know for sure.
Range.
Well, the stove, I should say.
Get a new one.
But they were gonna put in a full-size refrigerator, a bigger fridge in that space. So,
I don't see a problem with that.
I don't either. I
No.
was just curious. I didn't know there was such a thing. You had to take the cooking
Is it,
facility.
is it a cottage or is it a motor?
it's a
Park
park model.
Park model.
Park model.
Year-round?
I assume they can live in
There's
it
the picture,
year-round.
Ted.
They often call these tiny homes.
Yes.
But if you look at the definition in our ordinance, if they're not more than 400 square feet and they have the running gear and the tongue on them, it's a park model RV. So,
Yep. No, that's fine, I think.
Call for the question.
All right.
How far from the water?
It's a fish house, goes on the water.
how far is it located?
Just so you know, you like rules,
Certain kinds of rules.
It's well beyond the required setback from the lake. It'd be 150 feet would be the required setback, so it exceeds that.
All right.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
motion carries.
And the last item I have for you is a preliminary plat, East Cowdrey Acres. So this is in LeGrand Township. It's a 2-lot plat. In their proposal to plat out these lots, there's plenty of buildable area. They're very large lots, mostly composed of wetland. But in doing this, they will seek to exchange some property on the north side of the plat so that they can gain access back to this larger piece that butts up against the YMCA property. So with that, Planning Commission recommended approval of the 2-lot plat.
Board's wishes.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yep.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Mr. Chair, since I haven't used all of my time. If the board would entertain me for just a moment. Last week, well, I've been working with municipalities within the county on the cannabis business registration delegation. Several of them have delegated that authority to us. I did receive some correspondence last week from Tom Jacobson, who is representing some of these municipalities, and it was at his suggestion that we enter into an agreement with these cities that in a more detailed way lays out the responsibilities. I've reviewed that agreement. I guess I'm not looking for any sort of approval, but just to give you an update, is that something that the board is interested in? The way we had set this up originally was that by resolution, they would delegate that authority to us, but that resolution doesn't really lay out who's going to pay for what and, specifically what those responsibilities are of each entity. This 4-page agreement, joint powers agreement, specifically lays that out, as well as identifies limits of liability and that sort of thing. So is that something that the board would entertain if I worked with him to draft this up? And then we'd probably bring several copies to your next meeting if those municipalities chose to enter into that agreement. Does that seem like a reasonable path to take?
Mr. Chair, it does, because we can use those as our numbers in case the village or the city of Alec didn't get 4. As long as we're working, have the municipalities reached out to you? All of them?
Many of, yeah, I mean, I've been in correspondence with all of them.
I know you were. I
Several of
knew you
them-
reached out to them.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they've responded yet, that's all.
Several of them have responded. I don't recall offhand. This agreement, though, comes mostly because of City of Kensington. They did delegate authority to us, but in their resolution, they indicated that that delegation would require some sort of agreement between the county and the city, of which I responded that the county was not in the process of drafting an agreement, but we sure could, and that's where this came from.
I had them reach out to me. I know that it's Mr. Way's neighborhood, but they did say something, and they were just concerned that they would like to be included in some of the financial benefits if they allowed them in their village.
Well, and I think that's what this agreement would lay out.
And I know that's what it is. The mayor had called me and stuff, and he's a friend of mine and stuff.
So if we pursued this, it makes sense. I mean, if the other thing we could do is, if they delegate to us and there is no business that locates that we would register, then maybe there's no reason to enter into an agreement. If they delegate to us and a business is going to be there, then I think it makes some sense for us to, prepare ahead of time as to, who's going to pay for what and who's responsible for what. So it's clear in that agreement. It's not clear in the resolution that they provided us.
Okay.
I know that because I drafted the template, so.
We do have to get going. The way it sounds, they're gonna get with it here
Yeah.
in June. So
Yeah, June 5th.
we have a
just-
couple of municipalities. Is Osakis doing their own?
They're doing their own. Alexandria's doing their own. I think, I believe Garfield, Miltona, Kensington, they delegated to us. I expect Brandon Evansville probably will. They'll both delegate
You haven't
to
heard
us.
Freda,
I haven't heard from them.
Millerville?
Have not heard from them either. Well, no, I take that back. I think they did delegate to us.
They did.
I will come back to you with,
Do that, yeah, because I've heard at one time they were thinking about doing
Yeah.
it themselves, I know.
well, then I will continue. I'll work on this with Mr. Jacobson and have a copy to you to review. And then whatever is pressing will come up on your next meeting and we'll move forward from there. But you are correct. We received some updates from OCM yesterday that on June 5th, they will start proceeding through that lottery. for businesses, so.
So I just have a comment on that. I just want to say that the reason we're doing this is we're pretty much being forced by the state of Minnesota to do this, or we follow their rules. I'm still very skeptical about the whole matter, but in the big scheme of things here, I guess we are doing what we need to do to keep this thing or some control on it.
That is correct.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Agree with you 100%, Jerry. I think we don't need the wild west
No,
totally.
no.
Mr. Chair, I got a question here. But then with the cost associated with that, if we're doing it, I think it should be the responsibility of the city or that's pursuing this under us.
Yeah, I think we just need to clarify, we're going to receive the registration fees and the aid that comes from the state. But the cost to do the registration and the compliance work that's required, we're unsure what those costs are, but the county obviously does not want to be picking up the, any costs that wouldn't be covered by those revenues. So I think that's the piece we have to work out is, the cities, if there is any deficiency in that revenue, then would likely need to be made up by the municipality.
Okay.
That's a valid point, Tim, and I just want to comment again, I've said it before, but the money that is derived from the sale of this product isn't going to cover what it's costing, so the taxpayers are going to be reimbursing that, just to be clear. Thank you.
Yep.
Vicki Doling, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
I have a couple items for you this morning. The first being a resolution to authorize United Way of Douglas and Pope Counties to conduct lawful gambling in the form of a raffle to be held at Geneva Golf Club on June 9th this year.
Okay, this will be a resolution.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2542 to allow lawful gambling at golf tournaments for United Way.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second.
Tim, thank you, Tim. Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
And the next item is an application for a property tax abatement. The assessor's office did bring to our attention that they had missed classification. They removed a homestead status on a property in error, and so to correct that, we need to bring this before the board for approval. The difference will be $104 in tax that will be reduced, of which I think $43.40 of that is county tax.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the tax abatement.
Thank you, Shane.
And reclassify with the homestead.
I'll second. I'll second.
Go ahead.
Lene?
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you.
So I just, go ahead.
Oh, Mr. Chair, I have a question too for Vicki. Has the land for the library now, is that getting taken care of so that we get it in the county's name so we don't have to?
We are waiting for everyone involved in that split to pay their 2025 taxes in full. And then
Okay.
that plat can be recorded.
And then we'll be relieved of that? Okay, thank you.
So just a quick question, and that is there a ruling on if a home is valued more than, let's say, $571,000, you lose homestead credit?
That I will defer to Stacy.
Stacy?
She is here.
Yeah,
If it's over.
She's up on all the new laws,
right.
legislation.
The cap is 517,000.
oh, 17.
517.
Yeah,
All right.
517. It went up from 413,500
Okay,
previously.
so they get homestead credit on what's less than that? I mean, so if it's 417 or less, they get homestead credit. Anything over that, they don't?
Right.
There's a max, like of when you get the most exclusion, and then after you hit that max, then it starts, you lose a little bit per,
So depreciation or,
Yeah.
okay.
The max is at a value of 94,000.
Okay, all right.
It moved up from 75,000. It was 76,000. It wasn't at that for quite a few years.
All right.
You can, but, so I understand that. I had that question too. You can get the homestead credit on the first 517,000.
Yes.
And then if it's worth $1 million, then they don't get it on the 490 or 480.
you don't get any. You get none.
None.
After you
Okay.
max out, because you'll have,
Once you get to 517,
It's
then
zeros-
there's no homestead
then it
credit
zeros out.
whatsoever. Okay.
Okay, but when you do that, I mean, that doesn't include the land, that's just the building.
land and everything.
The land and the building,
How about buildings?
or buildings, yeah, yeah.
You don't get any homestead
Right.
on that farm, buddy.
So to summarize for Stacy, so if you're, was it 94,000 you said?
Yeah.
So you get the max exclusion amount if your property is at 94,000. Anything after 94,000, you start losing your exclusion. And so the higher the value, the less exclusion you get till it zeroes out.
That's why this one was
Yeah.
only $100.
Yes.
So you might say most of all the lake homes then don't get any homestead credit.
Right.
Not anymore. If they're
Not anymore.
Wow,
If they're over 517,000, they get.
okay.
Very few of them are the original.
Oh, heck, yeah.
You know, I mean, there are very few that are
Yeah.
homesteaded in the first place. Most of them are.
All right, thank you. All right, Jill is next.
I just have one item today, just looking for a motion to approve bills totaling $1,543,785.17.
Board's wishes.
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you, Tim.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. All right, next we've got some topics here. One is Oak Hill Cemetery, and that's up in Spruce Hill Township. And what it is sort of a vacated cemetery that a neighbor has, for the last 3 years, taken care of. And there is 6 Civil War veterans buried back in there. And if he stops, he wanted to be reimbursed for it. Doesn't seem to be anything in our, I guess, in our rules that allows him to get paid to do it. And so if he does not do it, the county would apparently take over. And so that is what I need to know, because I need to call him back and tell him that if he stops, we will do it, but we cannot pay him. And we have a question for Jake here. Come on up.
Can I actually get some clarification on the name? Because you said Oak Hill, but Oak Hill is in Garfield, in Spruce Hill.
Well,
There is a Spruce Hill Cemetery.
gosh, I swore he told me Oak Hill, but you know where it's at.
Yeah, so we have Oak Hill in Garfield, and then Spruce Hill is in Spruce Hill.
Okay, then we're gonna go with what you said, but.
Okay. And before you guys go and make any, I kind of read up on this after you asked me
Yep,
about it.
Yep.
It first has to be determined on whether or not the cemetery was abandoned.
Yeah. There's the one that's
Thank
in
you.
charge of all the cemeteries, so
Thank
she
you.
can probably tell you.
Yeah. Oak Hill. Okay. Huh.
So anyway,
It's
that's.
called Oak Hill in Spruce Hill.
It's located in Spruce Hill. It looks like it's a family plot.
Well, it is. It's surrounded by private property. That's why we would have to have some kind of easement to get to it if we take it over.
Okay. But regardless, first you'd have to determine on whether or not it's an abandoned cemetery. And there are rules for that in statute that determine.
Okay, if somebody doesn't mow it and keep it up, that's
gotta
not
be like
abandoned, that's not abandoned?
It's got to be essentially like that for 20 years.
Are you kidding me?
And then the board may appropriate it.
Well, I don't think that's right, that we abandon the cemetery, especially with
That's if nobody
Civil
knows it.
War veterans in it. So I would have to say that if the gentleman that's doing it right now is not going to do it, we need to do something quicker than
Yeah,
20 years.
Absolutely. I'm just making you aware of what I read in the statute.
Yep. All right, Vicky's gonna have a question too, I guess, so.
The other thing you'll have to look into if the county does want to take it over maintaining it, is there's no easement to get to it yet.
Right, I know
So we would
that.
have to get
I know that.
established.
So those are things that would have to take place, but I'm just saying to leave it unattended, I just don't think that's the right thing to do. So Jake, I mean, if you, I guess, know of any other thing, but I've talked to Tim Erickson, yes?
Do we know, there's no family of any kind?
I guess we'd have to check the plats, but I don't know who owns this.
And, okay, and
No.
Vicky, you don't know, you don't have record of that either? Okay.
Because in statute, it talks about there's the 20-year rule, like if nobody mows it for 20 years, but then it's 50 years if it's like been completely abandoned. If there are Civil War veterans or veterans.
I went to the Knute Nelson home there. Historical, so thank you. And they confirmed that there was 6 Civil War veterans there.
Do they have the names?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
I'm not doubting that there's veterans there. I just want to make sure you
Well,
guys are
I'm just
clear.
saying, to wait that long to take it back over, my gosh, trees would grow up, brush would grow up, that,
Right. No. What I'm looking at is you may be covered under that 50-year rule,
I see.
right? If we can't determine who's owned this thing for 50 years, I'm pretty sure that's in there as well, where then, hey,
Okay.
then the county can take it over.
Okay,
But then, like Vicky said, if we do that, then we're gonna have to provide easement up to it so we can actually get to it.
all right. Stacy, do you know, is anybody paying taxes? I mean, is it an exempt tax?
I'd have to look it up, but cemeteries are tax exempt. We know about them.
Okay,
Cemeteries are tax exempt.
Even without an association?
I guess so.
They're just tax exempt because of what they are, I get it, I know, there's very few that are large enough to where you have to manage, right? Like Kincaid and the Catholic.
And we don't manage it, they just send us an annual report.
They have to send an annual report.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that have got financial stuff going in, no. Okay.
This could also fall on the township to take care of as well. It doesn't have to jump straight to the
I
county.
get it.
So.
But I'm gonna call him, I needed some more information, and I'll find out if it is under the jurisdiction of a family member or not. It didn't sound like it. He took it upon himself to go do it because he's a neighbor.
Okay.
One of the comment that I can make from being on the Ida Township, we have Lake Charlie Cemetery.
Yep.
And township takes care of that, and we pay somebody to be the caretaker and manage that cemetery. And if Spruce Hill Township be willing to take on the responsibility and hire a caretaker to tend the cemetery. And so I think we need to get in contact with Spruce Hill and see if they want to take over before the county can take over.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, how big an area is it?
1.25 acre?
Oh, it is 1.25
I
acres.
think that's what it is.
It's a little over an acre.
Yeah. 1.44 acres.
Oh, it is fairly large then.
That's pretty good sized, yeah.
Yeah, that 50-year rule that I was talking about, so Minnesota Statute 306.23 says the fact that the grantee or holder has not used portion of the lots for burial for more than 50 years.
Okay.
So if nobody's been buried there in 50 years.
Well, they
that's
haven't been
evidence
buried
for
since
abandonment.
1933.
So that's evidence for abandonment.
All
So
right.
at least that hurdle's cleared.
Probably because there's no access to it.
Yes, yes. Well, it might be full. I did not go out and walk it.
Okay.
I mean, how is the gentleman mowing this getting there? Is he taking this?
Well, he just drives with his lawnmower. He lives maybe less than a quarter mile away.
Oh, so he's a neighbor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, this is the gentleman? Okay.
I can't think of it.
Stan?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Stan.
Sandvik?
Okay.
Stanley Sandvik?
What's the last name?
Sandvik, S-A-N-V-I-K.
Yeah, that sounds right. All righty, well, we'll move forward with that, and hopefully we'll get to get it figured out.
We'll get her figured out. Thank you,
Yep,
Jake.
thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah.
We'll get Arvid done.
Nah. All right.
He would do that one.
All right, next is coordinator department action, and I know we've talked about this, and I think it's time we move and make this happen. Any comments?
Well, Mr. Chair, I think we need to do something. We've been dragging our feet long enough.
Yep.
That we need to get this so
Yep.
every department knows what's going on.
Yep.
You know, especially with the HR coordinator department, because they're sort of hanging by a thread, not knowing
Yes.
what's going to happen. So we have the authority to appoint someone, so we can do that.
All right.
I don't know what your consensus are.
Mr. Chair, Tim and I have been, you appointed us on the committee to visit, and we spent quite a bit of time with Lee. We appreciate everything he's doing and has been doing. We don't like any of the names, and we were told by AMC we must use one of them. Right, coordinator, administrator, or manager. We sort of, and I do believe we're unique because we can be if we want to be, right? But I think we've come up, but now it's up to you, other three also.
Right.
I mean, in a consensus, we need to come up with which way we want to go.
So,
And we can adopt it and adapt. After that, also, we can change some of the resume, and believe me, Lee knows what he put up with in them meetings, so.
okay, and I just want to say this before we go any further. I want to ask Lee, you're all in here, right? Yes, I'll be. All right, thank you.
Okay, the one thing I want to say is that things are going to change in that office. There's going to be different duties assigned to different people in that office.
Some adjustments.
So there's going to be some adjustments, and we'll have to do a new job evaluations on some of those.
Okay, yeah.
So with this, I would make a motion to nominate Lee Kazmarek as HR coordinator.
All right, thank you, Tim,
I would second that.
and thank you, Charlie. Any other discussion? Lene, please.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
motion carries.
Congratulations, Lee.
Do we need a start date on that?
That would be beneficial.
Oh, well, let's use today.
As of today?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'd suggest making the change effective May 12th,
Okay,
because that would be a new payroll period start date.
very well.
Is that okay?
Yep.
You've been doing it anyway, so.
All right, May 12th it is. Okay. All right, then we're on to per diems, it looks like.
Okay, I guess I'm up first. On the first, we had commissioner meeting, and then on the fourth, we had a meeting with Chad Larson. On the seventh, it was MRC Zoom at the administration building here. Then on the 8th, I had Fair Board meeting. That was Zoom. We discussed future of the fair. On the 11th, planning and zoning viewing. Then on the 15th, we had a commissioner meeting. Then on the 15th, we had Fair Board meeting, our monthly meeting held at the fairgrounds to look at where different things are gonna be situated on the fairgrounds. They're looking at changing it a little bit. On the 16th, had department head meeting in the morning. On the 17th, at West Central Juvenile Detention Center Moorhead meeting, that's quarterly. And then on the same day, I had the Economic Development District in Fergus Falls. So I came from Moorhead and stopped in Fergus Falls for another meeting. Then on the 21st, had open line. On the 22nd, we had a meeting with Lee about some HR. I don't know, I didn't put down a per diem for this, whether it will be or not, I'm not sure. Well, I couldn't charge it anyway, because on the 22nd, I got planning and zoning, and I charge a per diem for that, so it don't matter. On the 23rd, Lakeland Mental Health, I had an audit committee meeting that was on Teams. And then on the 25th, there's a hospital board meeting, and then on the 28th was Lakeland Mental Health in Fergus Falls. They pay my per diems.
All right, thank you, Tim. Charlie, I think you're next.
All right. On April 1st, we had commissioners meeting. On the 2nd, we had a special planning and zoning VRBO meeting. Mr. Rush, landowners. On the 3rd, we had a pre-bid Rainbow Rider meeting, 2 in the afternoon. 4th, we met with the county attorney on personnel issues. On the 7th, MRCC meeting here. The 9th, LGC meeting. I think that was at City Hall. The 10th, a regular Rainbow Rider meeting with bid opening. And the last we finally heard, I think it was successful.
Did you get it done?
Getting approved by both the federal and the state we're actually going to get a
After 3 years.
garage, 3.5 years in the works out here on the, next to the sanitary in Massman out there.
Wow.
The old Hayes property. 11th, we had the special meeting of the hospital board, or the hospital 501 committee. The 14th, Horizon. 15th, commissioners and work session. 16th, building committee meeting. 17th, solid waste. 22nd, the hospital, both safety and 501 meeting. Along with the HR's office, that was a meeting with Lee. The 23rd, hospital executive board. 25th, hospital board, the whole board. And then the 29th, we had a special solid waste meeting on strategic planning. So.
All right, thank you, Charlie. All righty, for myself, 317 Dancing Sky was Zoom, 318 regular meeting, 318 Sauk River Watershed, 319 Annual Township Meeting, 320 Land Records Meeting, 321 Hospital, 325 PIO, 325 Road Update with Tim Erickson, 326, 27, 28 was the AMC Leadership Summit, and 331 Sauk River Watershed, 4-1 had our regular meeting, 4-3 Prime West, 4-7 MRC, 4-9 Cannabis Meeting, 4-10 PIO, 4-14 Horizon, 4-15 our regular meeting, and also on 4-15 was Sauk River Watershed. 4-16 we had a building committee. 4-17 Boat and Water Building had to take and come in and show the Carlis Township Board, our boat and water buildings, because they want to build a new fire hall and get some ideas about that. 423 Sauk River Watershed, 425 Hospital, 430 was a PIO meeting, and 5-2 was Food, Pool, and Lodging, and 5-1 Prime West. All right, Shane, next.
March 31st was our Alamere Health Subcommittee. On April 1st, County Board meeting. On the 2nd, Land and Resource, met with Dave, and I was with Charlie on VRBO. Prime West monthly meeting, they pay. On the 4th, Teen Challenge, they had their Wake Up Alexandria there at Teen Challenge, and I was invited to come. April 4th, Bremer Bank had their grand opening that day, and Jeff Way and I were at that. On April
Who
7th,
won the door prize on that one?
not me. On the 7th, MRC meeting, Zoom meeting. April 8th, we had a Zoom meeting through AMC I attended on permitting. On April 9th, our local government meeting was a monthly meeting. On the 10th was our PIO meeting, going over the county agenda. April 11th was Alamir Health Subcommittee. 14th, Horizon meeting, they pay. 15th was our county board bi-monthly and work session. On the 17th was Pope Douglas Solid Waste meeting. 17th was our library monthly meeting. And solid waste, they pay for that one. On 4/21, the school district 206 invited all the people from the LGC to building a community inspiring character meeting. April 22nd was Alamir Health, Quality and Risk Management. Also, we had the same day right after that, our 501 subcommittee meeting. On the 23rd, Alamir Health Executive Committee. So it happens when you're assistant chair. Just go to meetings. April 24th was our task force on aging, updates on what they offer to the elderly. On April 25th, Alamir Health monthly meeting. The 29th was our public works updates on construction and parks, or some say coffee and rolls. On the 30th was our PIO meeting, or we're going over the county agenda.
All right. For Shane here, I think there's a couple that was.
Jeff to do yet.
What's that?
Jeff should go.
Let's
Oh.
do Jeff and
Oh,
then we can
yes,
vote
yes,
on all
Jeff,
of them.
yes, okay, right. Jeff, go ahead.
March 26th to the 28th at the AMC Leadership Conference in Nitswa. 331 invited to a public hearing in Kensington about the cannabis hearing. 4-1, the county board meeting. 4-3 was the Rainbow Rider, the pre-bid meeting for the Alex Bucks Garage. 4-4 was the AIS meeting, go over the grant application with Justin from the Land and Resource. 4-4 attended the open house at the Bremer Bank, the ribbon cutting ceremony. At 4-7, the MRC monthly Zoom meeting held in the county boardroom. 4-10 is the Faith at Work luncheon concerning opioid addiction held at Lake Geneva Christian Center. 4-10 Rainbow Rider opening bid regular meeting. 4-11 Palm Watershed held in Morris. 4-14 Soil and Water Conservation monthly meeting. 4-15 County Board meeting. 4-15 the work session. 4-16 the breakfast for Scout in Broadway Ballroom. 4-16 Douglas County Legacy funding at the Public Works. 4-16 Region 4 Mental Health, the monthly meeting, and they pay per diem and mileage. And 4-18 at the Chippewa Watershed monthly meeting. 4-21 attended the Brandon Township meeting for public relations. 4-23 Extension Committee meeting, quarterly meeting. 4-25 is the hospital board meeting, monthly meeting. And then 4-25 is the West Central Community Action annual meeting at the Luther Crest, and they pay mileage. And then 4-29 is the coffee with the Public Works.
Okay.
And I want to make a comment for Shane. I think he should be compensated for mileage for the Wake Up Alexandria and the Bremer Bank grand opening.
Okay. Shane, do you got a problem with that?
No, I don't. I was just,
We got the land.
Land and Resource that Charlie and I were on, and then also the School District 206 one that I went to. And then I see that Jeff went to the Brandon Township as well. You should get reimbursed for that, because we said that if you go to township meetings, you should get it. I see you didn't have it on there.
Well,
Renee, you keeping up?
The way I understand is the annual township meeting.
annual
but,
township
just the
meeting.
regular township meeting that I have in my district, I just put down the mileage.
Okay.
So
So
it's annual township.
I'm in
Oh,
Ida
well,
Township,
got
so
it, the annual one. So then you got the cannabis hearing one you want.
yeah, they invited me to that, and so
All right, board's wishes. Are we good? I'm good. All
So,
those, Lene?
If we can make the motion to approve these per diems, including the highlighted items that were outside of the assigned committees for the commissioners.
I'll make that motion. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Charlie.
and I second.
Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.
Way,
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if we can back up 1 minute to the coordinator department item.
Yes.
I just want to clarify for the meeting minutes, the title that Lee will be receiving going forward. I believe it was discussed, it will be County Coordinator, HR Director.
Yeah, well,
Is that-
I had it the other way, HR Coordinator Department. So it would say HR Director,
It'd be coordinator, HR director.
yeah, whichever way you want to do it, Coordinator, HR Director.
Coordinator, HR Director, is that the way I think it should be?
County Coordinator, HR Director.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I got to call up Tim Erickson here. Just, Tim, if you would come up here, please. I want
Yeah,
to
I-
get his 2 cents. Come here, please.
Yeah. Did you need that today? I don't think that was laying here. Did we?
No, you've already approved it. That was done.
From
This was
previous?
last time, yeah, yeah.
Previous.
All right, we just, very well.
I do have contracts for you.
Very well. Yep. Okay, thank you. And then we will move to Julie Anderson.
Great, thank you. One there.
So, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, thank you for taking just a few minutes so that I can introduce a couple of students I've had the privilege of getting to know. As you hired me to be the emergency manager, I told you I would work with people of all age levels, and so I've tried to live up to that commitment to make sure that we're helping folks be as prepared as they can be for all sorts of emergencies, including severe weather. So this year I made a proposal to the Human Services CAPS class. And so we have Reagan Tatke and Zach Hammer, and they've been working on a severe weather awareness campaign for folks that are that age and a little broader. So they're going to tell you about it, and Lene has a couple of slides here. Oop. Just get there we go. We called it Alexandria Aware. So it'll just be a couple minutes, and go ahead, and those microphones, you want to put them right by you so they can hear.
All right, good morning. And through this project, the past 2 months, we've been really focusing on severe weather. And we wanted to make some new and fresh flyers to get to more age groups. One of our first flyers is about code red alerts. There's a QR code right there if anybody wants to scan it. And it takes you to the website to scan for red code alerts to get more accurate alerts. And that is our first flyer.
And then our second flyer was for the severe weather preparedness kits. We had a previous flyer, but we decided we wanted to amp it and then use photos of us to make it more personal and relevant to teenagers, which was our main target audience for this project. And it includes pictures of us holding like preparedness kits and then what maybe you should include so people have a more clear definition of what they are and how they can be used in a severe weather event.
And this is the most interesting to me. And this is the flyer about the radar gap. which is if you see our county, we are like barely covered by actual radar. We have a temporary one right now, but as you see up there, there's some solutions that we're looking at, like C-band radars and X-band radars. And then this is showing that we are getting inaccurate data, and we need to fix that some way.
And then to gather more data on our own community, we've created a survey for our Alexandria Aware campaign that asks about 10 questions about, do you know what a safe shelter is? Do you have access to one? Are you aware what to do in severe weather emergencies if you're outside or indoors or somewhere where you can't seek shelter? And it helped, we have I believe over 50 results so far with data given from teenagers and local community members about their awareness of severe weather and how it can affect them.
Yeah, so I think they've done a great job. We're hoping to get A's in the class, but more importantly, we also know that what they're doing is going to help young people be more aware, and they're going to keep working on that survey until they graduate. So again, thank you very much.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Julie,
Thank you.
before you run away, what have we done? I know they've had them, I'm on that one committee with the state on the severe weather thing. Don't we have some kind of a radar over in Elbow Lake?
Yep, that's the one Zach was talking about, the temporary one, right? So,
Temporary.
yep, that's helping to fill the gap for now. And with the sheriff's office, we're still on that free pilot program, but it's not
Does
looking
that
like
cover all of Douglas County and everything with that one?
It does.
Okay.
And our dispatchers really like it, right, Sheriff? And they use it. And so it's a good temporary fix. And I think it's fascinating that the young folks are really interested in that and helping all their friends who live and breathe by their phones better understand that they might not be getting the most accurate information from that. And so to please pay attention when we sound the sirens and what to do when we do ask them to gather more information other than what's coming on the phone, right?
Yeah.
So again, I think, yeah, they've done a great job.
Yeah,
Good.
great,
Thank
great.
you.
Mr. Chair.
Okay,
I would
yep.
comment, if you two need a signature from the chair to help get you A's, he'd be glad to sign a paper for you.
I just got a question. Have you done any drills in the schools for severe weather?
We did. Severe Weather Awareness Week was, I believe it was April 11th through this, 15th, and we did a tornado drill throughout the whole school. And we made an announcement about this is what you should be looking for, this is what a safe shelter is like, and then we posted these flyers in our own school for that.
Yeah, they've done a great job putting all those flyers up and really getting them into the hands of people. So they've done much more than just create them. And again, I think the survey is really helping getting students engaged and getting their thought process going. And if we can get all those kids who see that QR code flyer to sign up and actually opt into the Code Red, that will be huge.
All right.
So this Code Red now, does that cover more than Douglas County?
So each county buys its own system. That's the opt-in. We have another system that can send messaging out. But we really need our residents to opt into Code Red, and especially the young people who don't have landlines and some of the legacy ways that we were getting that information out, they need it on their phones.
What I was wondering is if you're in the program, the Code Red program, and you're in another county, you won't get notified?
Not of what's happening in Douglas County. You're going to get notified what's happening in Douglas County even if you're in Florida. But we have what's called IPAWs and wireless emergency alerts that send messages just via cell phone to everyone in the danger area. So for all of our visitors, we have that. But the Code Red provides the information for, if we had a law enforcement incident or we had something else going on locally, that we can also use that Code Red for that.
Okay.
Well, again, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Okay, with that, we go to items from the floor. Anybody have a item from the floor? Thank you for coming, Robin. All right. All righty. Well, I don't see anything, so we need to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Charlie.
Second,
Thank you, Jeff. Lene, please.
Way,
yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Kalina,
Yes.
Rapp,
Yes.